About 6 months ago, we managed to buy a bunch of BMWs, and this was one of them that we pulled out of the bush. And then since then, it's pretty much sat outside the back of the unit. Until last week, where we decided to start repairing the dodgy jacking points. Both sides were pretty much equally as rotten, and today, we've got to finish the inner section and then get to stripping the rest of the car down, because I believe the reason that the car was sat for so long is it was overdue some dire maintenance. Number one being the rear subframe bushes completely fell out, as per the MOT history. Which now means after years of sitting, it does need a minor restoration. I use the term restoration quite lightly, but we do have a selection of parts. We're gonna call it a rather large overhaul. Obviously, we've got the traditional disc and pads, all new wheel bolts, all new control arms, new track rods. Lewis has bought some without bushes and with bushes. Apparently it has some poly bushes. We have a full BMW like fuel system. Now everything is genuine BMW. We've got all the new rubbers, clips, fuel hose. We have a thermostat. Yeah, everything BMW fuel system is there. We also have the front to rear fuel lines, genuine BMW in this pile of E34 parts. And of course, we've got a full set of bushes for the trailing arms and subframe bushes to go in. We're going to put some new handbrake cables on it. Need to make all new hard lines for the brakes all round, and that is about it. And we should be able to take it for an MOT. But first, I want to get the rear end finished up like this side. That way we can get it painted, sealed, and I just need to make a couple of panels to go in here. Finish this up around here. Finish that in there, and then we can actually, you know, get it painted, sealed up, and move on to the rest of it. So that's something like that. Let's make some panels. Now this is a weird old shape to make, and it basically spots underneath, like here, just like that. And it doesn't have a join there. It's literally spotted onto this panel here. And basically, it's quite the weird shape. Now, I've already put the transmission jack in, bent it into position, hit it back with a hammer. I just need to make this edge meet up to there, which is in fact quite an awkward shape. So I'm going to use a socket, transmission jack, put it on there like so. Get your socket on like that, put some pressure on it, and then simply beat the edges with a hammer, scribe around it, and then you can stitch it in after some plug welds. Okay, obviously prep the back side of the panel and load it in. The reason that I'm doing this in two panels and not including it into the bottom section of here, it's quite literally for the sake of ease. It's quite complicated, the shapes are all weird, and yeah, that's all. I'll do, start tacking it in then. That is the finished result. Quite awkward to get in there to grind it all back, but we got there. Just made this little panel here. It's gonna go somewhere like that. Cut that back. Same again, same process. You know the score. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, skipped a few steps and we're painted, sealed, zinc primed, everything. Obviously it's still wet, But this all happened yesterday, got it all finished up, and I'll just give it a coat of zinc this morning. Gonna let it dry, and I will seam seal all the edges, get it ready for, you know, putting the subframe back in. But obviously it can't go in yet. We need to put some new bushes in. These are the PowerFlex subframe bushes. They are bright yellow. Fancy. Now, these are going in, and Lewis has some off-brand trailing arm bushes as well to go in here. So, my plan is to burn all the bushes out. I'm going to try, like really try, to do this in situ without disassembling everything, because I don't really need to disassemble everything. But if I can get away with not undoing the drive shafts, then I'll try, but it's probably not going to happen. So, yeah, let's burn these bushes out first, because I know they're the easy ones. Should probably do this outside, to be honest. While these bushes are burning in front of me, I'm going to remove the rest of these fuel lines. Health and safety, eat your heart out. Yeah, gotta get the excess mess of fuel lines which I have left in here, get that all removed and get our new ones in, because obviously front to rear fuel lines end there, and we gotta get them all the way in, front to rear. That is a must before the subframe goes back in, along with the hard lines for the brake lines as well. Our front to rear brake pipe gets a bit rusty here, so I think I might put a joiner in somewhere along here, because the rest of it is really good, as well as the fuel lines. The only issue is the rear end of the fuel lines and brake lines, which, you know, starts about here, and the rest is all good. So I'm gonna put a joiner in there, replicate it, and make way for our subframe that's coming back in. Very nice. Bunch of brand new fuel clips. I bought all these for my E34 as well. But yeah, it's just nice. It's good that you can still get this sort of thing. I always wonder in about 10 or 20 years time what we're gonna do when this sort of thing just doesn't exist. So, yeah, bang this on the car. Nice. I love BMWs, especially old rusty ones. The screws that you can't undo because they're super rotten and they round off in the most awkward position possible. Yay! Even better when a little M5 bolt snaps in there and then the other one rips off the chassis. What do you even do at that point? You move on and do something else. The subframe bushes are now burnt out. Get the center out, and then what you need to do is get this outer sleeve out, which sometimes after you've burnt them you can actually knock them out, but usually you'll have to cut a slit down there with a recip saw and smash it out. So let's give that a go. And that is a pair of bushes removed. So residue on the inside, give it a bit of a clean up and get your bushes in. See that? Poly bushes from PowerFlex took a matter of arguably seconds to put them in. And then Lewis has cheaped out and bought some off-brand bushes, which will need to be basically pressed in using a vise or a press, which creates great difficulty for installation, and cheaping out takes more time. So what you end up doing is paying more in time just because you cheaped out in the bush. What he should have done was go to Powerflex and bought the trailer arm bushes as well. 2-part piece, bang them in, be done with it, everyone's happy. These are actually for the blue E34, which I'm giving away at the start of November. So it's gonna happen. Yeah, get excited for that. That is happening next week. Things are in motion. This is gonna take some work. So while that's burning away, I'm gonna strip the front end because we've got a lot more parts to go on as well. So. That is the front end all stripped down. Obviously, all the old crap is going to be thrown away. We've got new arms, new control arms, new bushes, discs, pads, all of that. Hopefully, the calipers are okay, but I'm just going to let all the old fluid sort of drip out onto the floor for a day or so. And then I'll be putting some new hell-braided lines on, because obviously everything gets a set of hell-braided lines around here. And yeah, this car has sort of just been falling apart the more I touch it today. So we've got all our new clips on for the fuel lines, but I can't put it in because, well, the fuel tank needs to be dropped now as well, because all the breathers have literally just fell off around it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to drop the tank because this breather, I can't seem to pull it out and replace it without at least dropping the tank a little bit. So this line needs to be replaced. I also need to do the fuel pump, this breather hose. A lot of this needs to be redone. And then I need to do that now before I continue with the rest of it. But got these horrendous bushes in, which were an absolute nightmare. They took a beating. I did have to use that sledgehammer in the end. Yeah, not a fan at all. Let's hope they last, because no one wants to get those out ever again, because they are super tight. It feels sort of very deja vu to the Laurel. Back of the seals, fuel lines, tank out. Yeah, I just feel like I'm doing the same thing as I have been doing the last couple of months. But yeah, it's crazy how things can escalate. I'm now gonna drop the tank, which I do believe is 2 Allen keys up here. Hold the straps on, do some wizardry with the filler neck, and it should all drop down in one piece. So yeah, let's see. I may be a bit premature on removing the tank. Oh dear. That took way too long, and it was because of this. Hidden right behind the seal that holds the filler neck to the body. You couldn't see that until it was hanging off it. You can see quite clearly why I couldn't get the back lines off. They have their own separate ports on top of the tank, so they don't interconnect like I thought they did. But yeah, need to get some of this. If we can get original, that'd be great. And it's also uncovered some scabby bits, so I think the back end of this car is going to get a bit of an underseal, neutralise any bits that's scabby. You know, we've got the scabby bit there, around the brake line, around there, around there. It's all pretty much same, so I'll get the wire wheel on all those areas and neutralise it with the Genelite, which is what I'll be using. I really like this stuff. Direct to paint surface after you sprayed it on. Very, very good. Which means we're gonna have to pull our new plastics off, but once it's in colour, I think it's gonna look really good. But for now, let's get the rest of these brake lines off. Now then, let's hope that none of this actually goes through. Yeah, that'll do it. If only it was that easy, eh? Yeah, we still have the front jacket points to do. Obviously the rear is pretty much buttoned up. I've gone over it with the neutralizer now. It's all going black, if you see there. Very important step if you want it to last. And obviously I had to go through all of the, basically the tank straps, all of that. It's the sort of thing that needs to be done, and 90% of people won't even bother. I never will get the chance to do that. But while I'm there, I might as well. It's a shame really, because that is the start of disaster, and a lot of cars out there are going to be going through the same thing, and they're not going to get the same treatment, and they're going to basically end up like this thing right here. The boot floor, same area as what we just cleaned up on this car. Yeah, you can pretty much put your finger through the entirety of it, and yeah. You don't want all these cars to look like this. Even though this car is arguably one of my coolest cars that I own, I don't want them all to look like this. Especially not underneath. Anyway, once those bits have dried, I'll go over it again with another coat, and then once that's dry, I'll just go over it with some zinc primer, let that dry, and then when the time comes, I'll cover the whole underneath with Gravitex, and hopefully I should have saved that car from great catastrophic failure, because a lot of that surface rust was on the tank straps. Now I know the car's probably lasted like 30 years already, but it's got to that point. Now's the chance to stop it in its tracks and slow down any more future rust. I haven't just spent the last 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days welding the rear of the seals for the boot floor and tank straps to just rot off, so doing that while I have the chance, because if not, Lewis will never ever ever do it, because that's the type of person that Lewis is. That's about it at the minute. We're sort of on a parts waiting list at the minute. There's a lot of things that we need for the car that we didn't realise we needed. There's a lot of extra stuff that this car has needed, like spending hours trying to undo brake lines and stuff like that without damaging all the stuff surrounding it. But yeah, that is about where we're at. Obviously we've got to do the front jacket points and stuff now. That could be next on the list, so I can get on with that and hopefully have that video out for you Monday. This ramp right here is very nearly finished. It's working, along with this one here. Obviously this one is not all attached. So very shortly, we'll have all three in working order. Finally, been ages. It's always a struggle to get a lot of these things done at the same time as doing absolutely everything else. Having that in, nearly finished, is gonna make everything so much easier for me personally anyway. Thanks to Matt for coming over and wiring it in for me. There's a problem with this white ramp here. We can't get both sides to lift at the same time. It's a very fancy German ramp, which, as you know, Germans like to over-engineer everything, and this ramp is also the exact same. And you need to be a scientist to make it to work, apparently. But whatever. Speaking of things that are really hard to get done, this giveaway. So the giveaway I am hoping by the end of next week, like I said in the start of this video, or in the middle, I'm hoping by the middle of next week, I'll have confirmed everything, and Friday, our giveaway can go ahead. The design is in the process. We've got a speedy process on it, and it's looking very likely that we'll be opening it up on Friday. Don't hold me to that, but that's what I'm thinking. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm giving away my E34, which is a lot nicer than this Touring. Like basically no rust on it whatsoever, and it's gonna need a few bits. Like I said, gonna put some poly bushes on it. Gonna probably do the fuel lines because they're looking a bit crispy. I wire brushed them at the start of the year. Didn't put any holes in it, but because I'm giving it away, I just wanna make sure it's all good for the new one. Everything else is brand new on it at the start of the year. Obviously, we pulled out of a bush with this one as well, and the one that we're giving away was the most buried and was also the best condition one. Very, very good car, and I obviously will be doing a few bits to it over the course of November, but the giveaway side of things, very soon, finally, after waiting for so long, I think it's going to finally go ahead, and someone's going to get a very, very, very good car, and I'm stoked for them. So yeah, keep an eye out. Oh, the farm has stopped farming. If you hear the background of these videos, I work on a farm, so at all times it's pretty much chaos. So you get to hear lots of farmering things. Also, before I go, the algorithm brought us back into people's feeds again, and it's because of the Touring, and then people are familiarized with it, which is really an eye-opener of how I should really go about YouTube in future. I know everyone likes to see, the regulars like to see anything that I get up to, but to make it feasible, we need to do more relatable content. Like the last month, when I was doing the Laurel, no one has a Laurel. You don't see Laurels. Very rare car, very odd. Just doing a little bit of rust repair on it, and the likes of that is not very relatable, so people don't watch it or click on it. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to do these sort of things, but it's an eye-opener of what I should be doing in the future, because I want the channel to work, and I just want the channel to be mainly me working on my own cars. But that is future Josh. We're working towards it, but at the minute, my priority is getting these workshop stuff done, and my toys are a bonus, which, yeah, we got a busy winter. I'll leave it at that. I'm literally rambling. Thank you very much. You're all legends. Subscribe, do all that. Thank you very much. Goodbye.